Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So today I thought we'd have a nice relaxed video and we talk about the downsides to weight loss. I feel like it's really easy for everyone to celebrate the amazing health benefits of weight loss, the great physical changes that you see, the narcissistic element of weight loss and everything like that. And that's overly talked about, it's overly shared, myself included. I love documenting my journey and sharing hints and tips with you guys about how I got from one stage to another. But I feel like people rarely talk about the downsides to weight loss, whether it's physical or whether it's mental, because there are definitely pros and cons to everything. As everything with life, there is a good side and there's a downside. And I feel like people rarely talk about the downside. So today, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be telling you the easy parts, the hard parts, and just the things that I struggle with now I'm at goal. Some of them are completely physical and they're going to seem quite shallow, but I feel like they're going to be relatable and something that everybody will experience once they get to their goal weight. But yeah, today I thought we would talk about the downsides to weight loss and I'm just going to get started. So I'm going to start with the least important and build myself up to the more meatier topics. And the first thing is definitely something physical. It's definitely something that is not that important, but it's something that I've struggled with a teeny bit, and I feel bad for struggling with it. Like I feel like it's silly, but it's something that's very much there, and it is loose skin. Depending on what degree of weight loss you have, you might have some loose skin. For me personally, because I've lost over 50 pounds, it's definitely apparent that I have a lot of loose skin, and it doesn't look as nice as it could. I know I'm very grateful and I'm in good health and I don't regret my journey. I don't regret losing the weight or anything like that. But there are a few physical changes that I've seen that, although have been great, there have been some that have not been great. It's kind of like a roundabout thing. So yeah, I've got a lot of loose skin, especially in my stomach area. On my arms, I have a lot of loose skin that kind of wiggles away. There's literally hardly any fat on my arms, but when I hold them up, you can see like skin, which that can be disheartening, especially, I mean, I know if I worked out more, I could build it up, but honestly, on what I eat, if I worked out, I'd be like this, which, and I don't enjoy working out. It's not an area that I have passion or drive for. I'm not a gym bunny at all, so the thought of working out just fills me with dread. So I try to address my diet and let that carry me through. But I know if I did work out on my arms especially, that would help in that department. But it's not just there, it's mainly in my stomach area and on my hips. I have a lot of loose skin where I can literally pull it and it's numb, like I don't feel a thing. That's a little bit annoying because it does make me reluctant sometimes to get my stomach out. Like I've worked really hard for it, it's really flat, but then I have the skin and it's not that great. Stretch marks as well. Stretch marks have become far more visible now I've lost the weight, which is, you know, it's not something I ever shy away from. I'm lucky to have stretch marks. I've carried 2 children, delivered them naturally, and I know it's a situation that a lot of women, a luxury not a lot of women get to have, sadly, and I'm very grateful for it, and I would take it every day of the week. But it has made them more visible, and that can be quite challenging, especially when you kind of swapped one thing for another when it comes to an insecurity. But you know, stretch marks just aren't fun. I feel like because I'm olive, I can hide them quite well, but they are very much there and they don't look that great, so that's another thing. Another thing is I feel like my wrinkles show up more, guys, and I know that to expect this. I know that that's completely natural. I'm 32, I'm going to be 33 this month in July, so I get that I'm not going to be looking like a complete spring chicken, but I have noticed that with the weight loss, because there's less to plump up my face, especially in my eye area, you can definitely see more wrinkles than you could before. Part of that is age, part of that is the weight loss. So that's all the physical downsides to weight loss. I will show you guys, like I'm not shy about it. And when it comes to hauls and try on hauls, like I don't hide my stretch marks, I don't hide my loose skin because I feel like it's part of me, there's no point. It makes you more relatable, but I definitely don't feel the best about it, and it's kind of like swings and roundabouts. As I said, you can't have it both ways, and I would not change my body for the world, but I struggle with that. Another thing is, since I've lost the weight, cellulite has become more visible. I've always had cellulite, it's the bane of my existence. I've never been able to completely get rid of it. No matter how good my diet is, no matter how much water I drink, cellulite has always been a part of my life. And I know people say, like, people from Beyonce to whoever will have it. If you've got it, you've got it. But Man, it's a bit disheartening. Before it didn't matter as much because there wasn't as much skin on display, but now I'm kind of more confident. I want to dress in a certain way. I want to try new things. It does hold me back a little bit, but I'm working on it. I know with working out it will get better, dry brushing, that kind of thing. If you have any tips and tricks, let me know. But yeah, cellulite is a little bit of a thing that's become more visible. So those are the physical changes, and they may seem shallow, guys. I'm not saying that they're like first world issues, but these are just downsides that I've experience with weight loss. But I wanted to talk about the more important topics now, and these are things that people can struggle with when it comes to the mental side of things with weight loss, and how I'm combating it if I experience any of these things. And these are also things a lot of you guys have reached out to me on DM, you've reached out to me on Instagram and said to me, you know, how do you deal with this kind of thing? Do you experience it? So I thought this is a really lovely space for us to chat and be honest and open about these things, and also because my community is just so amazing on here. You guys are the best bunch of people in the world. I know that you'll support each other as well. So even if these are not things that I struggle with in particular, I know you guys will support each other and relate to each other, which is great. So the first thing is, I had a lot of people saying like, how do you relax about things? Do you worry? All that kind of thing. You know, do you live in fear? Like, will you if you put the weight on, like when you're eating, does it play in the back of your mind? Absolutely, sometimes that happens, and all I do is I try to remind myself that it's all about balance. It's all about being realistic in your expectations of your body, the expectations of yourself. You've got to remember you're on this planet once, like one shot, guys. That is what we get, and nothing is guaranteed other than this second. This moment is the only thing in your life that is guaranteed. It's this moment. So you've got to have some realism. Like, are you going to be wanting to deny yourself 100% of the time? Is that sustainable? Absolutely not. You can't say no to everything in the fear that you're going to put this weight on. If you're focused, if you have balance, if you've learned the lessons that you should have been learning throughout your journey of how to manage your food, portion control, all that jazz, then you're not just suddenly going to fall off the wagon unless there's something else going on that's caused you to binge eat. I have done a full video on binge eating. I'll link it above so you guys can go and get familiar with the signs and that kind of thing. But all I will say is, I don't live in that fear personally, but sometimes in the back of my mind I'll get like, oh, should I be eating that? And then I think, no, I didn't get down to a size 8 to say no to a donut. Do you know what I mean? It's just not gonna happen. So the only thing I will say is try and be more relaxed with it, try and be kinder to yourself, and just think of that all important rule of everything in moderation. Nothing is off limits, no food is good and bad. I've done a whole video on foods and fake foods and labeling foods and that kind of thing. I'll link it above. But just try and have perspective. You know, it's like having all the stuff I mentioned on the physical sides of it. It's perspective. Do you know what I mean? You've carried 2 children. In my case, you've carried 2 children. You've lost over 50 pounds. Your body is probably knackered. Your body is saying, you know what? I'm not gonna look perfect. And even if I did look perfect, I wouldn't think I look perfect. Like, do you get what I mean? It's so relative to who you're talking to. So just try and be more relaxed with it and try and have some balance and realism. It's not every day you're going to be able to do it, but just try for the most part where you can. The next thing that I get a lot of questions about is how people or certain things have changed for me since the weight loss. And this is such an interesting question. So, okay, I have experienced people acting differently towards me on both sides of the coin, like at both ends of the spectrum when it comes to my weight loss. Some people have been overly nice, couldn't do enough for me, going above and beyond and out of their way, wanting me to try their products, wanting me to dress in their clothing, all this and the other when it comes to brands. People in real life have wanted to hang out with me more, that have been different towards me. And then there have been other people that have done the complete 360 of they're kind of not wanting to be my friend anymore, being quite negative towards me. Nothing I ever wear is nice, nothing I ever do is good enough, I've now gone too far, I've lost too much weight. And it's just like, you know what? No one knows about my situation other than me personally, and all I will say is I'm happy and I'm healthy. I did put a picture on my Instagram the other day. Someone mentioned that you can see the bones in my chest, which is true. It's a bit of an insecurity of mine. I do have some bonage going on. Yeah, it's not my favourite, but it's what's happened. I've lost a certain amount of weight, and it's what's happened. And I had one message in particular, and I cannot complain about hate because I don't get it. But I did get one message, this girl saying that she had to unfollow me because I was making her feel bad about herself by being celebrated for having the body that she now has that I've worked hard to not have anymore. And the only way I responded to that was like, I cannot stay the same to make others happy, even though it's making me feel sad on the inside. I'm not harming anyone, I'm not harming myself, I'm being completely healthy. You guys know from my what I eat in a day is I eat really, really well. I can't stay the same to appease others. all I can do is apologise for making anybody else feel bad and support them in their journey. That's all I can do. So I have experienced some people being very different towards me since I've lost the weight, good and in bad ways. I've had, like I said, brands get in touch wanting me to wear their clothes, and I'm like, you know what, no. If I wasn't good enough for you at a size 16, then I don't want to be wearing, you're not good enough for me at my size 8. You're not good enough for me generally now. Like, no. So I'm really picky about the brands I work with now. Like, I've experienced both, to be honest. I would be super interested to know if you guys have experienced this in the comments box down below. Like, I come from a background where everyone's in each other's business, everyone has an opinion about stuff, and they'll encourage you to lose weight, but then you've lost it, and they're like, whoa, you've gone too far. So you can never make everybody happy, and that's fine when it comes from a place, like with my family, of love and concern. But when it doesn't, you've got to think about where this is coming from. Is it coming from a good place? Is it coming from genuine love, genuine concern, or is it coming from jealousy, insecurities on their part, stuff that's not your stuff to deal with, basically? So yeah, I have noticed that, and I'd be super interested if you guys have down below to hear what you think about it. The next one I wanted to talk about is imposter syndrome. Now, imposter syndrome is a it's kind of like the voice in the back of your head, the person that lives in the back of your brain and messes about with you sometimes and tells you should be doing this, or you can't be doing that, you should be wearing this, you shouldn't be wearing that, or you're not worthy enough to do a certain thing. That is kind of imposter syndrome. And where I've been struggling with that sometimes is when I've been shopping. So I'll go to Topshop and I'll pick up a size 8 short because that's what I am. But I'll pick it up and I'll look at it and I'll think, there's no way I'm getting in that. I'm not buying it. I'm not a size 8. I'll go and I'll take the size 10 into the changing room and it'll be too big. But something in my brain tells me that I shouldn't be trying on the size 8. I've completely decided now to just completely ignore that inner voice and just go for what my heart says, go for what visually I can see. So now I just take 2 sizes, the size smaller, the size I actually am, and the size above, just for my silly insecurity of I shouldn't be buying that size. And 9 times out of 10 I come out of my size of a size 8. This dress that I'm wearing now is a size 8. Everything that I wear pretty much, unless I want to size up, is a size 8. I've always said it's not about numbers, it's not about this, that and the other, but there's something in the back of your brain sometimes that you can't help that makes it like, should you be wearing that? Should you be doing that? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you've just got to like ignore it and just put on what physically fits you, no matter what it says. I wear a size 10 sometimes. I'm not a 10, but I wear it because it feels more comfortable and I don't care about the number. Do you know what I mean? It's all about, again, balance. With a lot of these things, it's about balance, realism, perspective, and what's important and prioritizing. So that is something in the imposter syndrome. The only way I get around that is, and again, this is some days are better than others, as I've mentioned. Some days I'm more mentally strong than others, but I just try and ignore it. I just try and say to myself, like, I'm going to wear what fits me no matter what it says on the label, and I'm not going to bother about it too much, and I'm not going to put any pressure on myself to get into a size that I feel is, do you know what I mean? Like, no, I just can't deal with that. You know, it's tricky. And the last one I'm going to talk about, because I thought we'd keep it at 5, weight loss is not a cure for anything, and it is not a magical solution that's going to make everything in your life right and happy again. And this is something that a lot of people struggle with. Like, they think that being a thinner version of themselves is going to make them happier, it's going to make them more accepting of themselves, it's going to make them kinder to themselves. And all I will say is, yeah, you might feel more confident, and yeah, you might feel your clothes look nicer, and there's one less thing to worry about, but really a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress and a lot of these situations come from something else. They don't come from the size that you are. Yes, insecurity will play a part, and yes, confidence is a massive issue, and one that can be addressed by you feeling more confident. And if you're confident at a smaller size, that's going to come hand in hand. But with deep-seated issues like anxiety, self-worth, body image, it's not going to just magically wipe those things away. Those are things that you're going to have to work on for a while until you can really get to grips with where they come from and where they manifest. And that's something I'm working on. Like, I'm not perfect at it. Some days I'll wake up and I'll just think, oh my god, you know, I'm feeling really anxious today. I thought that this part of my life was over. Like, I'm worried about what I should wear. I'm worried about how it's going to look. I'm worried about cellulite. And then I think, in other days, I'm just like, you know what? Bollocks to it. I'm not having that. Like, I'm not putting myself through it. So, you know, some days are better than others. And all I will say is, it's not a magic fix. Don't expect this weight loss to be the answer to everything, because it's just not. It's a physical thing. And yes, health benefits will help along the way to being a healthier version of yourself. But you need to be kinder to yourself on the inside. You need to be understanding. You need to be loving to yourself. And self-love is a massive, massive part of it. And one that we could all do a bit more of and all learn a bit more from. I mean, how many times have you told a girlfriend how amazing she looks? How many times have you been there, you've been supportive and nourishing, but yet to yourself you can be quite mean and you can be quite like feeling that you don't deserve it when you absolutely do. And I hope this is where this channel comes in. I hope I'm a reminder to you guys that you're really important, you're really loved, and do you know what I mean? It's a size, it's a label, it doesn't define you. Your weight and your number on the scale is the least interesting thing about you. So I want to leave you with that thought today, but also I want to encourage you guys and ask you all to let me know in the comments box down below what you think about this. Even if you're still ongoing with your journey, like, have you experienced any of these? And when it comes to downsize to weight loss, I'd be super interested to know. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to see more from me. I'll link this dress that I'm wearing in the description box down below in case you do want to go and check it out, along with any makeup I think you might be interested in. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.